BRS Reviews here with you, and the BRS Arcade is done. A lot of work went into this, and some of the things I changed on it were not standard, but it's things that I thought would be kind of cool to add to it. So I'll show you what all the stuff is. Just kind of a look at what it looks like. No power on. Got a bunch of figurines inside. That all lights up. Got the monitor and a display. It's kind of like a marquee, and I'll show you how that works. That is just an LED strip that you can use for multiple things. You can put it in your car, anything you want to do with it, really. You can make your own graphics for it. I thought it was kind of cool to have. Just a display. It's 64 across and 20 down. It comes with a book, has its own remote for that marquee. And then you just use an app to change whatever. These are just presets, different things. It's mainly for like vehicle use, but I'll show you. So inside the cabinet, let's see if I can get some light in here. I got some spare parts here, some silica to make it so it doesn't have any moisture in there. There's a 12-volt power supply. That's a 5 amp. That's for the sound. There's a 110 fan on the back for exhaust. The B-Max Pro 2. And then back here we just have a power strip that I cut the end off and put it on the back so I can have a switch on the back with the power cord. There is also a USB hub there to run the LED strips. That's all the joysticks and buttons that you have to wire. It's not too hard to do. Just gotta make sure that you put the negative side LED on the black side of the switch, so then you don't have to look at every single one of them, because there's a black side and a blue side. I did black for negative, blue for positive on every single switch. So when you go to hook up these daisy power for the LED, because all these red lines and black lines are all connected together, you just need one power source, which is on one of the zero delays. That goes to USB into the B-Max. Got both controllers plugged in. I also got a wireless Bluetooth there for my keyboard and touchpad for a mouse. I'll show you that in a minute. And some of these were all white. We have some green and blue buttons for the scheme here. So I decided to make the turbos red. And this one is an RGB flasher for the power for the PC, which I wired in. And I'll have pictures on it later. I'll show you how it was all built. So let's get this thing powered up. I have a power switch on the back. This flips. There's the fan. Now we have power in here. And the strip is on. And my 12-volt source is on for my audio. When I turn the power on, I have all the buttons on the deck show up, except for the power button for the PC, and my marquee goes. And that's all different programs that you can just loop together. So I themed it for arcade. And that's how that works. Alright, so then when you hit the power button here, that turns the PC on. And the B-Max will start up. And that's just a slow RGB flasher instead of just being a white button. They want it to be just a white button. So I got an LED strip in the back there to light up this whole figurine set here. Buttons really shine through on the plexiglass. I'm sorry about that. That's also one con of having the LED strip, is it has a touch button on the back, so you have to turn the LED switch on every time you start this thing. So I might just make it constant on, plugged into the wall and the switch is on, then the LED strip will come on. I'd rather have it that way instead of having that touch switch in there. Okay, now we're up to the desktop. This is where this comes in handy. I have this for the keyboard and mouse, and that just turns on. There we go. And then I have a mouse with touchpad. I put joy to key in, and I'll show you why in a minute. So I need to start that. And this is stuff you can put in the startup. You don't have to keep opening it like I am right now. I just don't have it start up right now. So then we want the Retrobat on. And this PC isn't super powerful, but it's way better than using an Android box. An Android box has less graphical power. You'll see it skip around and shit, but it's not too bad when you're playing games. Some mimicked PlayStation. I think I have the volume way low right now. I also have the speakers here, the 3-inch. They're not hugely powerful, but they're loud enough. And I also can change the volume with this remote, which changes the PC volume, which makes the screen flip off, but you'll see in a minute. There you go. It's 56. Then I also have a switch up here to adjust the volume on the amplifier, depending on how loud you want it. So we'll leave that like that. There's also another touch in here. I have an LED light strip back here. There's that one. You can adjust it to sound. So that kind of lights up the area too. Just little touches that I wanted to add. I think that's kind of cool. So red turbo buttons. And that. Now, one thing I found out. When you're in here and you're playing a game, I have the controller mapped where the hotkey to get out is this exit key. It's supposed to let you out of the game. Well, Retrobat doesn't really work with it, so I'm not sure their combination with hotkeys and stuff don't work. The single button, I guess, doesn't work. I've had it work once. Even down to the Pac-Man socks. Here we go. So this is Adventure Island. We're going to play that one. Since I'm on my cell phone right now, it's kind of hard to hold this directly straight, whatever, so it's going to move a little bit. All right. So we'll get this started. And we'll turn that down a bit. Not that much. That's good. Okay. So start. Now I'm only one-handed playing this, so we'll see what we can do here. Missed it. Dang it. I'm actually playing it through the cell phone. Okay. So now that we died here, let's say we want to exit. Well, this exit button wasn't working, so that's where the joy to key came in. So now when I press exit, it presses Alt F4, which I found out that you can close the games with Alt F4. I found that out with this. So if you can't get one single key that you want on your arcade, shut games off, that's one way to do it. It works fine that way. You can pick whatever games you want after that. I also wanted to add, if you have any issues with trying to map these out, make sure that 5 pin that's on the back of this on the bottom that goes into the zero delay, make sure you have it flipped with the 2 prongs on the top, not on the bottom. If you have them on the bottom, you'll have one axis when you're trying to map this. So if you flip it around, every one of these will work. All the switches will work. So that was one issue I had with that. So just letting you guys know that's something that happens. And I can show you where that is. Right there. So if you have this flipped around, where it has the 2 clip parts on the bottom, that's the wrong way. It needs to be flipped the other way around. That's how you get it to work. I was pressing mode and trying to get it to do different things, go to digital instead of analog. That didn't work, so I had to flip that around to get it to work. So I did that to both of them, and it's fine now. Both of them work good. And Retrobat has its issues. So if you're doing Mame, it has its own mapper program. You do not want to use that. If you use that, it will change all your keys wrong, and you can't get into the games. You can't play them. So what you want to do is make sure it's not using that mapper. What I mean by that is if you go back here, go to Mame, wherever it is. And by the way, this is a 500 gigabyte drive of emulation. That's how I got all these on here. I just put it right into the BMax, installed it. I updated Retrobat so it's version 7 now instead of version 5. See how I have options here? If I go to select, that's the options. Okay, now there is a way to get into controls. And I don't know if it was in here. Auto figure controllers is fine. It's right here. See how it says enable per game auto mapping? You want to turn that off. So if you don't turn it off, you can't do much. That's how I fixed that problem. Now, when you go to play a game, these buttons aren't always going to be the same, even though you mapped it. But it's going to let you play the games. Some of the times, this one is the reset. So you just got to kind of mess around with it to figure it out. My start button is giving me credits, and I think the select button was playing the games. So that's just something to think about if you're going to be doing this and trying to figure out what the hell's going on so you can play. That's the issue. Just wanted to let you guys know that. I haven't done a whole lot of testing with this yet, so I don't know if there's any more issues. I know some of the problems with this is if you start it up and then you close it, the Retrobat, and then you try to start it up again, it'll cause a problem with the DLL. You have to add all the dependencies like C++ and DirectX files. And when you get one of these emulation drives, there's a program in there that will put every single one of those files you need in there. If you don't have them, you can go to the Retrobat site and download all the dependencies. Then you can install them all. But you need those to run Retrobat.